Hey, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver. I just dropped this blanket. Hold on. At Jersey Mike's getting some sandwiches right now, but I'm going to be home in a second and I'm going to show you how to draw reverse flash. Anyone can do it, okay? All right, see you in a bit. Hey, it's Comic Artist Pro Secrets. I'm Ethan Van Sciver, and we're going to do a kind of live action drawing class right now. I think this is, okay, so this is a flash blank cover, and I've got an eBay store where you can basically get me to draw anything that you want. This person would like reverse flash, Professor Zoom, bust, and so we're going to do that now, and we're going to do it step by step. And, you know, I want you to follow along. I mean, get a sheet of paper, get a pencil, and let's see what we can do. I started drawing something on this before. You can kind of see the outline of a face, and I just erased it and said, now let's just start over again, and let's just do it as a family. All right, so we want to draw this kind of head shape here. Now, I've said this early in my earliest videos, my very first videos. Heads are important, faces are important. This is, you know, all vital, and it's also the thing that people either shine at or they kind of fall apart at, and they find it difficult. If you can't get faces that connect with the reader, you're not going to have a successful drawing. So we want to be conscious of that. We want to remember we're drawing a villain. We want our villains to look scary or menacing or cold or cool, or crazy. I mean, you know, villains are way more fun to draw, honestly, than heroes are, in my opinion. So we're going to kind of just see this kind of ball shape. This is sort of the top of the skull. And we're going to kind of sketch in right about here where the cheekbones are. And then where the kind of upper mandible is right around here. And then we're going to find the chin and the jawline. And look at this. I mean, basically, we have got kind of a skull kind of shape worked in. And we know where everything is going to go. All right. And we're going to draw a line right down the middle. They tell you to do that in all art classes. That's a fine thing to do, just to make sure that everything lines up. When you draw a line like this right down the middle, you know that the nose is going to sit on it perfectly, like this. You know, I mean, even down to where the lips are kind of parted right there. And you know where the two front teeth are going to be kind of separated. I mean, right down there, all of this information is worked out just by drawing that line right down the front. So that's important, at least when you're doing a head-on shot like this. I'm going to kind of sketch in where his kind of ear plates are going to go as well. All right, so we got this. He's running at us, so I want to kind of draw his chest. We're going to kind of draw this kind of a shape. It's almost, let me see if I can back up a little bit. Maybe if I pull this out and rest let's see if this works. It's all very tricky here. A lot of people ask me, how do you do this? Oh, you know, it's not all that easy. Hey, perfect. All right, so we're going to draw this kind of a shape here for his body. And we're going to have it, see this slant here? It goes from here down to here. All right. I think that's what we want to do. And I think what we also want to do, yeah, all right, let's put his hand in front of his face here. we're going to draw a hand in foreshortening, and it's going to kind of look like this. All right. So we're going to draw a line like this, and we're going to draw another line kind of like this. All right, so you see that kind of shape here? We want to do that. And let's just kind of, this right here is going to end up being his thumb, and this is going to be kind of his palm right down here. And these will be his fingers, and then we will kind of draw our wrist right here. Yeah, that should look pretty good. That should work out very nicely. And we have the lightning bolt going this way. All right, let's get in here. I'm gonna take this away for a minute and get us closer. I heard a big thump. Is everyone okay? Yes. Okay. See, it's real life around here. Things happen. All right. So let's start by working out the eyes. And we're going to have Professor Zoom scowling in a very sinister way. If you recall, this kind of juncture where the eyebrows jut inwards, I like to call these your 11s because they kind of, the brow furrows and makes an 11. And that, wow, there's a lot of thumping going on upstairs. I think Andrew is moving furniture. And then we're going to kind of work in the nose. And we're going to kind of find where the eyes are going to go. Do you need help? No. Okay. Let me know if you do. Okay. All right, so we're going to draw the underside of the eyelids here. All right. And we already know we can see where the teeth are, more or less. I mean, all this is changeable. We can change our mind and make things bigger or smaller. We can adjust anything that we want to. We're still in the pencil phase of this, but you can see where his cheekbones are. You can see everything that you need to see so that you can make some good decisions when you choose to draw his mouth and his smile and, you know, all of these things that we're going to be doing together here. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to get my pen. And you guys are free to continue doing what I'm doing. I'm going to do it in pen. Oh, look at my nails. Guys, this is dirty and everything. I've been drawing all day. I need to get a manicure. But anyway, you guys can do what I'm doing with pen. You can do it with pencil if you want to. But that's fine. So we're going to draw this eyebrow shape. And it's going to kind of swoop upwards like this. Listen, you know, when you're an artist, you're going to get ink and pencil and all kinds of stuff all over your hands. If you're a clean freak like I am, it does bother you. I wash my hands probably 8 times a day. It's not that I'm OCD. It's that I don't know. I'm afraid of getting my paper dirty. Like getting a smudge or a fingerprint on your drawing is like a nightmare. It's the worst thing ever. All right, so let's draw these 11s in here. Maybe I'll go wash my hands. Now I'm thinking about it. I'm distracted. I'll be right back. Okay, it's better. I mean, you know, sorry about that. All right, so let's get back to Professor Zoom here. And we'll draw his other eyebrow. Mm-hmm. All right. So we've got his eyebrows, and they're kind of jutting downward like this. We want them to be kind of thicker here at the bridge. and then kind of taper off a little bit at the ends. All right. Now he's a guy, he's an ugly guy. So these eyebrows don't have to be symmetrically, sound. They don't have to be perfect. But it's okay if they are. It's just okay if they aren't as well. Let's do the bridge of his nose. Now, if you were drawing a female, I think you'd want them to be symmetrical. You'd want to spend a little time making sure that they looked, in order. Yeah, all right. So, we want to draw the upper eyelid like this. And let's do the other one too. Yeah. That's just wonderful. That's great. You guys are doing a good job. All right, and now we're going to draw his pupils, or his irises. His pupils? Irises are in the middle, I think. All right, we're going to draw his pupils. Like that. You can already see he's looking straight at us. And it is important that you make sure that the way you place the pupils in the eye, that they're not crooked. We don't want him to have a lazy eye. You can adjust that by placing the lower lid in the right way. You can adjust either side of the lower lid like so, by bringing this side in a little bit or moving this side out or in. You can just make sure that this pupil is centered before you add detail to it. Now, you can see that as a circle, it's halfway inside of the eyelid, so we only want to draw the iris, just kind of slightly submerged under the top eyelid. We're going to do the same thing here on this side, and we want to pay careful attention to making sure that the pupil is centered properly within the eye. I mean, when you're drawing eyes, this is definitely do or die. You want to make sure that your eyes are alive and real, and that they're focused on what they need to be focused on. In this case, focused on us. That's important. And as you can see, he's looking right at us now. That's scary. We don't want reverse flash to be looking at us. What size pen is this? This is an 03, so this is the finest tip pen. I'm going to put on my glasses because I'm an old man. All right, got some bifocals here so I can do some detail. Yeah, I asked Andrea, I was like, am I an old man? And she just kind of looked at me and confirmed it without saying so. She said, yeah, I'm afraid you are. All right, well, as long as you still love me. Yeah, we're all going to get old. All right, so anyway, we've got the eyes in there. Let's draw kind of this this little line right under here. Yeah, that's just going to give a little bit of extra dimension. I think I showed you how to do this, maybe with the Joker, but suggesting that this is a plane here. And you can look at your own eye, and you can see this little area right here. And then like your eyelashes would come off of that, not straight out of the white of your eye. It would come off of this ledge here, like so. You don't want to do too much of that with this character. He doesn't, eyelashes are not a main feature of Reverse Flash, but I just do that to kind of illustrate. I want you to think through what you're drawing and think through in 3 dimensions, what it is that you're doing. We're going to give him tiny little laugh lines underneath his eyes here, like so. He is going to be smiling, I believe. Yeah, sadistic. He's got a sadistic smile. What do you think of that? Is that okay? All right, so now the nose. Because he's going to be smiling, his cheeks are going to be stretched out like this, and that is also going to pull the ends of his nose out. Now, when your mouth is relaxed, your nostrils aren't flared, and this kind of sits normally. But when you're smiling, your nostrils are going to flare a little bit, and it's going to make your nose stretch out like that. Okay. It's subtle, but it's definitely a thing that happens. See? All right. I'm gonna say that the light source. Have I already made a choice and not realized it? Yeah, light source is going to be coming in this direction here. Just a single light source. All right. Sometimes I hold my breath when I draw. I don't know if you guys do, but it's almost like, what was that movie where there was a sniper and he had to hold his breath before he pulled the trigger? It might have been Saving Private Ryan. I can't remember, but you do want to control your breathing so that when you're doing little detail work, your lines go where you want them to. You don't want your hand to shake, so I end up holding my breath a lot, and then I go like this. That's probably why, and I think I was telling you this, I was talking to Brian Boland one time, and he had said to me that, drawing feels like walking a tightrope to him, like it's that kind of stress. And I said, that's interesting. For me, it's like being submerged underwater and fighting my way to the surface. And it's probably because I'm holding my breath when I draw. Oh, okay. You can see I made a little goof right there, but we'll cover that up. Nobody will notice it. Too busy thinking about Brian Boland. Yeah. All right. I'm going to just begin these kind of laugh lines here. And I'm going to start drawing the teeth. Professor Zoom has fairly nice teeth. You want to make that decision. When I'm drawing the Joker, the Scarecrow, or one of these other characters, teeth kind of are their own character on those gentlemen's faces. But I think that Zoom is kind of an aristocrat, and he's very wealthy, and he has a great set of teeth. That shouldn't be a feature of what makes him scary. Give him some good canines. I've said this before, though. Canines. These teeth here. It's like those are the teeth that you can exaggerate in a villain to make them look vampirish. Like they eat human flesh. Like, I don't know. There's just something about them that they look cool. I've seen some celebrities that have like really cool canines. All right. And so the lower teeth, you'll notice it's like these teeth are kind of big, like big fat tombstones here. And then the teeth below them kind of echo. I mean, the teeth kind of mirror each other, but they're smaller on the bottom. So these teeth are kind of smaller. And that allows your lower canines to tuck inside of your upper canines like this. Okay? Yeah. And of course, most people have a little bit of an overbite, so their lower jaw fits underneath and inside of their upper jaw like this. So the teeth are going to kind of go up and hide underneath. And I think we can stop it right there, the upper jaw. And how about that? Let's just make this black right in here. And I just keep on working it out like that. You'll notice, I mean, drawing is so much of like, it's never, very rarely is it about doing sweeping perfect lines all the time. Often it's just about adding little touches, little droplets of ink until you make final decisions or you are where you want to be. Take your time. I mean, it's about precision. Little mistakes can ruin a drawing. Stressful, but true. All right, so we're looking down. You'll notice that we can't see nostril too much. We can see lower eyelid. His head is tilted down a little bit, so we're going to see into his mouth, and we're going to see his lower gums, like so. We're not going to see too many of his upper gums, just his lower gums. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to bring this down like this. Thick right here. Thin, thin, thin. Thick right here. And then around like so. And down. Okay? How do you like that? Same thing here. Thick. Thin, 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 thick. Thick is spelled T-H-I-C-C, C-C-C. And around. All right. Now, I'm going to put a little more shadow in here. Because I want to. I think it'll look great. He's a villain. So add a little darkness around his eyes like he hasn't slept. Just a little bit. It's a subtle touch, right? But I think it's effective. And I'm gonna find his chin now. So here's the trick. Really, I mean, just put a dot, like find out where you think it's gonna be. I would just put a dot like right here, right here. You don't have to go and outline his whole head in one swoop. You'd never want to do that, really, unless you are incredibly skilled. That just is a good way to make bad mistakes. So, just start indicating things. You go over here and say, all right, do the little measurement. You know where his cheek is going to be on this side. You see that distance from here to here. You want to repeat that here and find it on that side and make a little mark. I want to sit there and do a line like this, like that. I'm going to do the same thing here. We're going to be kind of symmetrical with Eobard Thawne. All right. So it's like we know where his cheek is, we know where his chin is, and we're going to, work it out a little more. Let's swoop these cheekbones inwards. Like that. And I'm going to find his jawline Okay, on either side, we've got this, see that distance there? Let's make that same measurement over here. Remember what I've said, I mean, drawing is all about little measurements. It's a million tiny little mental measurements that you have to make in your head. Measuring distances and just, that is so much of drawing. All right, we'll swoop this line straight down. We're going to follow kind of the lines that we've made for his laugh lines down to here. And these lines don't have to be perfect and clean yet. They can kind of be rough. We'll go over and we'll fix these lines. We'll build them up and we'll make them cleaner as we go. Right now, we're just trying to find the drawing. Okay. Like that. Let me move this a little bit. All right, good. So let's give him a lower lip. And we're going to keep that lower lip kind of tight. See? I don't want to give him a big fat lower lip here. I just don't think that, well, for two reasons. One, I think he's kind of, I don't know. I think his face is going to be a little bit more muscular than someone like Blue Beetle or Booster Gold. But also the way his mouth has stretched out, it's going to draw his lip out a little bit and it's going to make it thinner. So let's find his chin right in here. And let's do a little bit of shadow work under here. Yeah, I mean, these are just lines, just, it's not cross-hatching. Some of you think that every time you put down kind of lines that are parallel to each other like this for the effort of shading something, it's cross-hatching. Cross-hatching is actually, it's crossing. If I were to cross these lines, it would be cross-hatching. But I'm not going to do that because I like the value of gray that they provide just in and of themselves. You only cross-hatch if you want a darker gray. It's all about measurement, like balancing values. And now I'm going to make these lines a little bit bolder. I'm happy with them. All right. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Let's start working on this hand because this hand is in front of the face. Now, I would love it if you guys would actually like take a picture of your own hand when doing something like this. I would really like that. I would like if you worked from photo reference. People talk about hands being the most difficult thing to draw. Yeah, I guess so. But then again, it's not like drawing a Lamborghini where you don't have a Lamborghini, so you've got to rely on whatever photo reference is available. Everyone has a hand at the end of their wrist. Everyone has a webcam. Take a picture of it. Take a picture of your hand in whatever angle you need it to be in and copy it. Eventually you will figure out how a hand is put together, how it's constructed. I mean, this here, I want you to think of the palm of the hand as a perfect square, okay? It's a perfect square shape here, and the fingers kind of come off it. The pinky is short, the middle finger and the pointer finger are the ring finger and the pointer finger are about the same size. The middle finger comes out the longest, and out of here, almost like a kind of chicken leg kind of situation, is the thumb. All right, so when we're doing a hand in this, from this angle, nothing's really changed. The palm is still a square, but we're now looking at the palm as kind of a parallelogram because it's, we're looking at it from the side. We're looking at it in perspective. All right, so we're now thinking through the palm as a square that's kind of turned on its side a little bit. And from there, we're going to build out our fingers. I'm going to take this pinky, and I don't know, I like it when the pinky kind of bends like this when someone, it looks cool. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to start thinking of fingers as digits that are split in three. And so you've got this kind of, this part of the finger, which is, got a little chubbiness right under here, don't you? Got a little weight. So we're going to kind of think of the roundness there. And another little bit of roundness. And then the tip of your finger. Like so, okay. And then we know the middle finger comes up past that one. I'm going to try not to touch this letter L here. That would be a bad tangent. A tangent is, yeah, when you're drawing something and lines kind of touch in a way that, I don't know, it makes static in the brain. And then we've got our pointer finger. Okay. And then down. Here we have one side of the palm, and we have the thumb coming out here, so, you know, all right. That thumb might be too big. Let's scale it back a little bit. Yeah, I'll take an eraser because that's gonna, all right. And there we go, we have the hand kind of where we want it. Let's do the wrist. And we're gonna see, I think, enough of the arm to get the lightning right here. So that's good. We want that. Yeah. All right. So let's get in there and let's ink this thing. And people talk about hands. I mean, you know, lessons in drawing hands, and I'm resistant to that just because it just feels like, well, it just seems like the least of anyone's problems. You can draw hands. If you can copy photographs, you can draw hands. I can, you know, I don't know. I mean, I guess I can help you make little realizations about them. So much of drawing is about just saying, oh, well, I never looked at it that way. And then suddenly your drawing kind of improves 100%. So, you know, those kind of things are good if somebody can help you see things in a different way. Rags Morales is an artist who's done that for me many times, especially when it comes to drawing feet. You know, Rags has a lot of tricks that he's imparted to me that have been helpful. Maybe a Rags on here. He did a little kind of hello, you know, intro one time for the channel, but it would be fun to interview him and talk to him about his thoughts. I haven't done an interview in a while. I'll have to start doing that stuff again. And you see, so we've got, this is where the pinky, here's the chubby part of the you know, first knuckle of the pinky, and it kind of has folded like this into the palm, and it leaves a nice crease like that. Okay. And we do the first knuckle. And we go ahead into the second knuckle, much smaller. Tip of the finger, then back around again. And back down. And chubbiness. Boom. Let's do it with the middle finger too, slightly behind the ring finger. First knuckle, second knuckle, chubbiness into the palm, and then our pointer finger at last. We want these fingers to kind of be making a kind of pointy shape. They're all together. They're like stuck together like that. So we want to make them kind of point. So here we go. First knuckle around, second knuckle, a little bit of chubbiness here, into the palm. Kaboom. There we go. And let's go ahead and draw this palm. Yeah, I hope that helped a little bit. You know, sometimes finding the right words, chubbiness, you know, can kind of change the way that you see things as well. Keep your drawing subtle, but see when you're, you know, in your mind, you should see the exaggerations of what you're doing, and then fight. Like you should see this as a big swooping kind of, you know, this chubbiness under here, swooping kind of U shape. But then when you're drawing, fight that, flatten it out, make it subtle. But, you know, it helps to see things in simple, exaggerated shapes, I think. Am I making sense? I don't know if I'm speaking artist gibberish. All right, here's his wrist bone there. And let's bring this down. And let's bring this around. Oh, you didn't see that. Let's bring this around. And we're leaving this open because this is going to be lightning. All right, that's going to be like big time lightning there. All right, so now that I see this head is too tall. Let's trim it down a little bit. Let's bring this line down to about here. And that's why we draw in pencil at first. Because his head is tilted down, his ears are actually raised a little bit. So let's draw his ear pads a little higher. Right about there. And we'll bring this around. And we'll draw these ear pads just like this. Great. Hold on, let me scratch my nose. Okay. Let's bring this around. Let's make sure that's right. And up. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do this to separate his head from, these are metal kind of plates. So let's draw one line that divides them like that. And I'm gonna draw shiny reflective metal. These two kind of things. We wanna leave this little gap here to define the separation in these two plates. Yeah. I'll do the same thing on this side. Good, right? Okay. Let's make him the Flash now. Let's make him a Flash. We're gonna, right in the middle of the nose, we're gonna draw a little line like that. And we're gonna see this shape here. we're going to go just above it, like that, up here, back down around again, like that, okay? Same thing on this side. Almost follow the anatomy of his face, which is, I'm sure, what Carmine Infantino did when he designed the look of the Flash. Okay, good. And then we're going to draw his eye holes like this. Yeah. How's that? Is that all right? Okay, let's draw another one on this side. All right. And let's talk about more anatomy up here. Let's talk about his forehead wrinkling as he makes this kind of leering, sneering smile. I think that's a good thing. Let's just add some wrinkles. And I'm going to build up this head here. Let's give him a shadow. Should I? No, I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. He's moving too fast. I don't want to have shadows, those kind of shadows on him. All right, so let's go right under here. Give him this little shape up here, like so, and like that. Yeah, and you can use a French curve if you want, if you're not too confident about your ability to keep your hands steady for that. Let's do the same thing over here. Remember my rule about making little measurements? You're going to make them all the time as you go. It'll never be perfect, but you want to do the best that you can. And maybe it will be perfect for some of you. I'll put another set of lines right up here. And I'm going to give him some more laugh lines. Like crow's feet on his eyes. Yeah. Oh, he's diabolical. Look at him. Mm-hmm. I'll give some subtle pull outs here off of this side of his face. Okay. All right. Very, very, very good. I'm very pleased with you, class. Let's find his collarbone here. Oh, I move this all the time. See this? Like that. Hang on, I'm gonna get a drink of water. Okay, I'm refreshed. Okay, so this here is going to connect here and then here, like so. So we've got the muscle right back here. And we've got his neck. And there we go. All right. Into his pectorals, which are kind of facing this way. There's his symbol. We're going to do the same thing here. Ooh. This isn't easy, folks. I know you think that drawing and making sure that your drawing is in frame all the time as you move your paper has got to be a piece of cake, but it isn't. It's not easy at all. All right. Okay, there's another muscle there. But mostly... Okay, very good. All right, so let's put a tendon right here and a shadow behind it. And this is the neck. Which is going to kind of go behind his chin. And let's see. I get a fatter pen. So we're doing a lot of kind of darks here. Yeah, like that. And then back down around. And under the chin. Okay. Do that. And I'm going to add another little tendon. I just feel like being a little bit Dave Finchy today. Pull outs. And shadow. And yeah, I keep wondering, like, should I do shadow on him? Like, if he's running fast, how much shadow should he have? And I'm always tempted. Like, I really like drawing shadows. But it seems like if he's just a blur all the time, you want to avoid doing too many shadows that make him look like he's just in the sun. All right. I don't know, man. You could do it, I guess. All right, I gotta leave room for lightning here, so let's do that now. Let's put that lightning in. The band around his wrist is thicker. The lines around it are thicker than the lines that you want to use around his body here. So I would go like this. And maybe I'll get a slightly bigger pen too. So we're going to use an 0.1 and start drawing lightning shapes. Just like this. more up here. And I'm thickening up the line around his hand because his hand is in the foreground. It's in front of his head, and therefore the line around his head should not be way thicker than the line around his hand. Just as a general rule, a thicker line pushes something into the foreground. Okay. All right, where are we? Right down here. Okay, this is where his elbow would be. It is off panel. That's okay. All right, let's go over to the other side of his head. More tendons. Oh, I want to do it. I'm doing it. Let's make this and this black. And I'm going to draw a line here. And I'm going to draw a crazy shadow that reflects. Look, see that? That's even going to be there. Do I have a brush pen? I do. Yeah, these brush pens are great. Mm-hmm. And remember, there are no accidents. They're just opportunities that you make for yourself. I'm going to draw the lightning bolt, which goes the other way because he's the reverse flash. Did you know that it wasn't always that way? I actually had to insist on that. The reference that I had for reverse flash when I was doing Flash Rebirth way back in 2009, reverse flash's lightning bolt was black in the middle, like the circle was black, but his lightning bolt basically faced the same way as Barry's, and I just said, no, wait a second. I'm doing it backwards. I don't even think I asked permission. I think I just did it. I took the liberty. And I don't know if you guys, maybe you can tell me if his symbol was backwards anywhere else prior to Flash Rebirth. It might have been, but the reference I had that I was given, it was the same way as Barry's. And it's just, it's so obvious that it should go the other way. No mistakes, just happy accidents. We'll draw kind of an oval there. We're going to fill that in with black. I'm leaving this area open. Boy, it's really hard to get everything on the screen that I'm doing. Leaving this area open. I'm gonna have lightning coming out of it, just like over here. Okay. I'm gonna draw another circle kind of around the black. Lately, the flashes have kind of a metal rim around their symbols that I'm not sure I agree with it, but so what? Okay, how's that? I hope you guys are following along at home. Make sure that you show me your finished product on Twitter. I would love to see it. I am at Ethan Van Sciver. I will retweet all of your efforts. Make sure that you get a little bit of exposure. And, you know, it's good for you to do this. I think it encourages other artists to try their hand at it as well. A lot of lightning jumping out of his chest here. Yeah, all right. We'll get back and we'll do more of that in a second. So we've got his shoulder up here. And his other pec. Should I put this up? Yeah, that might be better. Okay. Drawing with your Uncle Ethan on a quiet Sunday afternoon. When the other kids are out playing football. You're inside. You're drawing studiously. And that's a good thing. I'm proud of you. Okay. Sitting here drawing reverse flash. Humming a little Barry Manilow. What's a good Barry Manilow song? Hell, what's a bad Barry Manilow song? They're all good. And we're doing pull-outs again. I mean, you want to use pull-outs to go from black to white. You had a nice intermediary kind of step there. Looks very cool. you know, it's just, it's a good thing. You can go harsh, you know, just black to white. That looks fine too, in some cases. I'm going to darken this side a little bit. And I think what I'm going to do is for his other arm, I'm going to make it a streak. Okay, so we've got his other arm here. And, yeah. Let's see what happens here. The house is so quiet. It's amazing. What do you think, babe? You like how quiet it is? Peace. Normally it's like a three-ring circus. But Ava's down for a nap. Kaylee's out. All right. Oh, make sure you can see what I'm doing. More pullouts, and let's see, let's do some more lightning effects. And the thing about lightning is you want to have thick bolts of lightning and then thinner kind of spaghetti bolts of lightning kind of mixed in. It looks more interesting. let's sign it. Let me see if there's anything else I want to do to it. I like to put speed lines. Draw some ribs in there. Let's get our brush. Dark, dark, dark. Yeah, good. Looks nice and balanced. And that is reverse flash. I'm interested in seeing how yours turned out. Make sure that you send it to me at Twitter at @EthanVanSciver. And thanks very much for joining me here. We'll do more of these anyone can draw lessons. I know it's been a while since I've done them kind of live, but I'm getting kind of feedback that suggests that you guys would rather I do it long form live as well as the or at least as often as the sped up ones. So, all right, thanks guys, bye. It's no secret at all that I couldn't do this channel if it wasn't for support from you, my subscriber base, and my Patreon donors. If you'd like to join this community by pledging $1 or more per month, go check out the link in the description below, and I thank you.